Yo, what's up, everyone?
What's up, people?
For those of you watching us on YouTube, peep the new merch, the new Fight Club merch.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So it's been pretty eventful over the last couple of weeks, Mysterio, on social media for EDM, right? I mean, there's just like a wide range of topics. There's been a lot going on.
A lot's going on.
Everything ranging from internet concerts to gaming to Twitter debates to festival announcements and all these different things just going on. It's been very exciting.
I mean, we were in a Twitter debate ourselves. You want me to read some tweets right now?
Wait. Why don't we save that for later, Mysterio?
That's some juicy stuff, SAV.
I think something that I really want to address right off the bat is this whole
All right, have it your way, SAV.
this whole Fortnite versus Minecraft beef that's been going on. This happened last week. For those of you that may not be aware, Minecraft, which was developed by PC, and I think the games are around.
It was Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft PC, whatever. I think Minecraft's been around for like 7 years, and they were the first recently to have a virtual concert, and they enlisted some DJs that are actually our friends. Like,
Right, Little Texas, Chewy and Saboba.
that's right. And there were a couple of others that were basically asked to take part in this first ever virtual concert, which is pretty cool because it's essentially like it's a rave, but it's online and it's via the game. So the way it works is that if you already have a subscription to the game, you can log in, and they created this virtual world, this virtual like festival ground where you can walk to different stages and listen to your favorite DJs play, which I think is pretty awesome. I mean, they're pretty ingenious for coming up with that concept, right, Mysterio? I mean, isn't that something I think we talked about something like this a few years ago? We were like, man, it would be dope if somebody made like an online virtual concert. And I think it was around the time when they were making 3D technology, like 3D camera angles and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That we were talking about that. But they took it one step further with the game.
For sure.
Yeah, because they were able to do it within a game. And then a couple months later, Fortnite announced that they were doing the same thing, only they were doing it with Marshmallow. Now, this ruffled a few feathers.
Understandably, I think.
Sure, but their argument is that, hey, we're not copying Minecraft because we're doing a live event. So it's an actual live event with Marshmallow being broadcast through the Fortnite video game. So
It's a little bit of a twist on it, but it's from the same family, the same idea. So Microsoft comes up with this idea. Then you have, obviously, Fortnite, that's Epic Games. The president is Tim Sweeney. Comes out with this, and it's not like it's out of nowhere. There's context for it, and the context for it is the Minecraft game. This wasn't an idea taken out of the sky, and they could say, oh, well, it's different because of this. Yeah, but no. It's still very similar. It's the same family.
yeah, I get the argument though, right?
Like,
Because if Marshmallow is a live feed, it's Marshmallow the actual person.
Fortnite couldn't legally fornicate with the Minecraft version because they're cousins. That's how similar it is.
But I do see what they're saying though. One is a live concert, and the other one is a one that was created virtually. So it's like a simulation, not with actual people, which I'm talking about Minecraft, mind you. But the Fortnite one is not a simulation. Even though Minecraft, I believe, did it live as well, it's still virtual avatars Like, it wasn't actually Julian Sebulba playing in there live, and it wasn't like Lil Texas was playing live.
It was the avatars.
It was avatars, and I don't even know if their sets were pre-recorded. That's something we should have asked them, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was a live feed or if it was pre-recorded, but in any case, apparently Fortnite's pitching it like, yeah, Marshmello's going to be performing live. So when you're tuning in, it's a live experience. It's almost as if you were in an actual concert watching him, only you're doing it via our servers through the game. So I see what they're saying.
We're not the only ones who thought it was strange. Mad Decent actually tweeted something about it. Kind of like, come on guys, you're not the first. Do you know what the exact tweet was? I'm paraphrasing.
It was something to that effect, and that's actually what brought it to my attention, because I follow Mad Decent,
Yeah,
so
of
I was following them, and I saw that, and I was like, whoa, what are they talking about? So then I looked it up and did research. And
it is funny, like negative tweets about things actually bring things to people's attention.
That's true.
You know, like you may have not heard about it, and Mad Decent not tweeted about it.
Absolutely. I have to say, though, Fortnite has come under a lot of scrutiny, though, as of late.
Hey, this is not
like
the first
last
time
month,
they've been
right?
accused of stealing.
Last month, they had a whole issue regarding, like, the dance moves in the game, right? They're selling dance moves that belong to actual performers and actors, right? So that was an issue they had.
And
But-
Carlton from Fresh Prince had an issue with that, saying they stole the Carlton dance. I mean, I can't do the Carlton dance. Do the Carlton dance for us, SAV.
I don't think that's something that I'm...
You can do it.
well,
Snap your fingers. Do a little.
No, aren't you the hype man? Aren't you the one that can dance?
I'm the hype man, but I've seen your Carlton, and I've compared it with my Carlton, and yours wins, buddy.
How would you feel, Mysterio, if you woke up one day and someone told you, hey, Mysterio, your dance moves are in Fortnite? Like, how would you feel? And they're selling them at that. Like, they would be selling your dance moves without your permission.
I'd be upset with myself. I didn't copyright them. That would be on me.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. There is no way to copyright dance moves yet. They're working on it, but...
That needs to be rectified.
Because I guess there was really no way to... At prior to this incident, there was really no way to sell dance moves. Now that you have these vehicles... through gaming and online gaming, now they're coming up with clever ways of selling different things that normally wouldn't be sold years ago. So it's like now you can sell dance moves?
Everything there's
That's crazy.
the things they're able to sell these days. But yeah, to answer your question, I wake up one day, my dance moves are on this video game going viral and a bunch of people making money off it. I'm naturally going to be upset. And in general, these things make me upset when we're seeing it more and more in our scene. We're really seeing it anywhere, but let's talk specifically our industry, where you see the big guys that have the machine behind them taking things all the time. And we see it happening with music. Where, recently, let's talk about it a little bit. We saw it with Alien Boy, with the Trap Chata.
Whoa, yeah. But you're reaching, Mysterio, because we don't know that for a fact. This is something that I came up with as speculation. But
I back you up on it because...
it's not something that would be conclusive.
Sure,
If
but this
it
is
were-
our podcast, so we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, so just to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to save my own skin here. What I essentially said to Mysterio was that when I heard Bad Bunny's new album, there's a song called La Romana on the album. And on that track, there's a break where the song goes from being a Trap Chata song. Trap Chata, by the way, is a subgenre that we created. What I mean the EDM community, electronic producers. We created this subgenre where it combines elements of bachata, which is...
Bachata and trap. Who would have thought? Trap Chata, SAV. I thought it would have combined trap and opera.
Well, some people may not know, they may not be familiar
It's pretty.
Some people may
It's
not...
self-explanatory.
There's people
It's
that
called
may
Trap Chata.
not... There's people that may not be
It was
familiar.
called Trap Tone.
Mysterio,
Trap Mumatone.
let me talk.
Okay.
there's some people that might not be familiar with what bachata is. Bachata is a genre that comes from the Dominican Republic, and it's not electronic at all. This goes back to an earlier podcast we had where we were talking about different subgenres of Latin music and all that. Bachata is not a subgenre of electronic music. So some people may not be familiar with bachata. Bachata is just it's a folk music that comes from the Dominican Republic. So some producers ingeniously combined it with trap. One of them being Alien Boy. Alien Boy is a producer that some of you may or may not have heard of, but he's an up-and-coming producer. He's collaborated with GTA, Nitty Gritty, and he's working with Boaz Von the Beats right now. And he's an excellent producer that we heard about Alien Boy a couple years ago, and I believe we released one of his first official releases on our label, Fight Free. And we've been friends ever since. We're playing with.
Spent a lot of time at his crib.
We went to that
show.
We went to his house.
I remember he was playing us All This Fire, and I believe that was one of the tracks he played for us.
In Lake Tahoe, he played us El Chaval, which was his edit of the popular bachata song called El Chaval. And he made a dope trap chata edit. And we were blown away, especially Mysterio, right? You were like, whoa, this reminds me of like a Dr. Dre beat. I remember you said that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, long story short, when I heard this song La Romana on Bad Bunny's album, I said, oh my God, this sounds oddly familiar. And it sounds just like, in terms of structure, it sounds just like Alien Boy's song. Now, Alien Boy wasn't the only producer making these edits at the time. There were a lot of other producers that were making them. I remember Racero, another cool Moombahton producer, who at the time made like 2 edits in the same subgenre. Anyways, it was a hot genre for a while. People stopped doing it. And then all of a sudden, I hear this song on Bad Bunny's album, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. This is crazy. My point is, it's what you're going back to what you're saying, Mysterio. These producers that produce for big reggaeton or even big pop stars, they're listening to the underground and they're just stealing ideas, or they like to call it borrowing or being influenced by certain ideas or producers in the underground. Borrowing, influencing. Those are nice words for stealing sometimes. When you're straight up jacking someone's idea, that in my definition is stealing. You're stealing. You're taking someone's idea. And, people might actually listen to the podcast and go and listen to Alien Boy's El Chaval edit, because it's on the SoundCloud, and then they'll listen to La Romana and compare them and say, oh, I don't know what SAV's talking about there. They do have a difference in structure. Yeah, obviously they will, because Alien Boy's edit was not intended for a rapper. What I'm saying is, Bad Bunny's producer, I'm not sure who it is, was listening actively to what was going on in the underground. He might even be an Alien Boy fan or Fight Club fan. He might be an EDM fan.
He might be listening to this podcast right now, getting tight.
He might be. But the point is, it happens all the time.
And
you hear producers borrowing ideas from the underground all the time for mainstream artists.
And that's exactly the point I was making, going back to the situation with Minecraft and Fortnite. I'm sick and tired of the big guys, the machine, studying our underground thing here and taking from us. And that was the biggest thing that pissed me off about it, because Little Texas, Julian Saboba, they were part of this thing that was groundbreaking, that was different. And now that Fortnite has taken that idea to the next level, the little thing they were part of will be forgotten, and now it's just all about this big marshmallow Fortnite spectacle, and it's being touted as the first of its kind. And that's when my gears get grinded, and that's when I go on tirades, and that's when we cook up ideas to do a podcast where we vent about it, because it's exactly what you're talking about, just higher level. Instead of using their platform to maybe put other people on, bring them on board, bring their sounds, bring their ideas, whatever it is. They don't bring the person on board. They just steal the idea, and then they get credited because they're the bigger monster. They're the snake. No pun intended. They're the snake in the food chain of snake, mouse, fox, whatever. They're at the top of the food chain. They're able to do this. And I just wish there was more responsibility and accountability amongst the mainstream machine. But hey, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. That's not how it is.
It's also interesting that the Minecraft developers or whomever was in charge of developing that idea actually was invested enough in the underground scene to reach out to those producers. I mean, like we just mentioned, Lil Texas, Julian Saboba, we're all kind of at the same level. And it's just interesting to me how the developers of that game thought of producers at that level and asked them to partake in such a, monumental experiment. And I think that's pretty dope because they're actually fans of the music, obviously. Because I'm sure Minecraft has the money and the resources to reach out to someone like Marshmello, but they weren't about that. They were doing it for the art, for the music. They were like, you know what? Let's not aim for the top guys. Let's go for the young guys, the guys that are being developed, the future of the culture and the scene. Which kudos to them, man. I don't know who it was, but much respect.
Much respect, and hey, why didn't you call us, bruh?
True.
Don't got our number, bruh. Don't got our Gmail, bruh.
But going back to Bad Bunny's album though.
fightclub@gmail.com.
Something I wanna. That's not our email at all. But
fightclubmusic@gmail.com.
All right, thanks for blowing up our email, our private email.
What do you mean?
Anyways,
there's no lying on this podcast.
Anyways, I was just about to mention Bad Bunny's album because there was another quote-unquote EDM producer involved in that too, actually. EDM producers involved in Bad Bunny's album, and they have production credits. And that would be Diplo, who's actually featured on the title of the track, and another producer who wasn't, but still was involved in the production, Nitty Gritty. And I thought it was interesting to me how, Nitty Gritty is one of the, he at this moment is one of the hottest guys right now. He makes the craziest edits. Him and Wookie are making some of the sickest edits.
You didn't tell me that you thought Nitty Gritty was hot.
Sickest edits, and Nitty Gritty's original production is also really dope. He's worked with Enrique Iglesias and Pitbull, I believe, and on like mainstream radio tracks. So I know he's working closely with Diplo, and he worked on this track with Bad Bunny. It's just interesting to me how I would assume if I hear a song like La Romana, the Trap Chata track, I would assume someone like Nitty Gritty would produce something like that. And I'm sure he wanted to, but it's interesting to me how either Bad Bunny himself or Bad Bunny's team reach out to people like Diplo and Nitty Gritty to make safer sounding trap beats. And I know Valentino Khan also made a song with Diplo for Deadpool soundtrack, Deadpool 2, and that was also a trap beat. These guys are capable of making some sick, crazy bangers for these artists, and they're not given the ability to do it. They're not given the chance to do it. Which is interesting. But then they'll take risks on the album, and other producers who are non-EDM take those risks. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm trying to get at? It's just kind of weird to me why wouldn't you ask the EDM guys to make EDM beats instead of having non-EDM guys making EDM beats and then having the EDM guys make non-EDM beats? It just doesn't make any sense. It's so counterintuitive. I'm just blown away by how it just, I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I don't get it.
But speaking of Nitty Gritty, if I do a segue quick, we actually recently got in a Twitter debate. Not a beef, it was a total respectable debate. And I don't want to paraphrase anything, so I got my phone here. I actually started it with a tweet. I was on the plane, and I was just thinking about things that grind my gears, and I had time to spare. I had free Wi-Fi on the plane, which was awesome, and I just tweeted this out. Give me a second. I see if we can give us a little fill up the space.
Well, you do know we have music playing in the background.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I tweeted out first. Ever notice DJs are your best friends when you see them at a show? Then you get home and tweet / message / comment, and they avoid you like you're fucking Steven Glansberg. Laugh aloud / Superbad. So, I mean, I'll paraphrase, but I mean, basically, I was just talking about. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? I don't gotta explain that. But two things I want a precursor. One of the things is Twitter, so I was limited. So when I put tweet / message / comment, I didn't mean do all of those things. I meant, any one of those things, and not getting a response. That was just a little precursor. So Nitty Gritty responded, and this is what he wrote. As someone who tries to be friendly at shows, it depends on how much a person really knows you. You can't expect DJs to be your best friend after meeting them once or twice backstage at a show. But be patient and just be cool, and don't over message them so they know you're cool. And he's not wrong, but I think he missed my point. I was coming from a place of a performer. I was coming from a place of Mysterio hype man for Fight Club, DJ Duo. I wasn't coming from the perspective of a fan. So when I was writing the tweet, it was aimed at my peers. I wasn't talking about it from a fan perspective, one. And two, like I earlier said, I think he definitely misconstrued that I meant message, tweet, all these things like, whoa, buddy, that's a little much. So I understand where he was coming from with, you gotta be cool. I just think that, as tends to happen with tweets, there was something lost in the communication. So first of all, I want to say, not only I was specifically targeting peers, but peers, people on our level, DJs on our level, or some of them even a little smaller, some of them a tad bit smidgen bigger. But those are the people I was targeting, because oddly enough, funny to me, the DJs that do respond, and do interact with us are some of the bigger guys. We don't have a problem interacting with the Valentino Khans or the Dylan Francises. And these are people that are on tour literally every day. They have shows. You check their gram, you check their schedules. These guys are always working. And it's funny to me how some of the biggest guys can find the time to be human and give you a response, or, just drop a comment or a response.
Well, I remember when I suffered my concussion over the summer, Valentino Khan actually sent me a text asking me if I was okay. So that speaks volumes about him as not just a DJ producer or peer, but as a person too. That was pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It goes a long way. We're all human beings. We're all flesh and bones, made up of the same components, and we can't lose sight of that. So I was really targeting my peers, like I said, that are on the same level, who somehow can't find the time to have a simple conversation, And again, I wasn't talking about conversations like, let's collab, bro, and harassing people. I was talking about a simple conversation. You played a show with these people. Some of these people over the years, we have seen countless times at festivals and shows, and it's always good times. It's always, beers and weed and good conversation and good times. And you would just think, or I would think, that I get home and I toss you a, great hang, man, like good chilling with you. And, I don't know. I don't feel I'm asking too much, and I'm not trying to sound like
I don't think so.
needy person.
I think, and also not to go one step further from what you're saying.
I know what you're gonna say.
Do you? You can read my mind like that? You're a telepath now.
I mean, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of these people don't run their own social medias.
No, but that's a good point.
That is a good point. And I also want to say I am aware of that.
I was going to say someone might also make the argument that, maybe they're cool with you and they appreciate you guys as people, but they're not fans of your music. Well, I'll one up you guys. For those of you thinking that, a lot of these guys play our music. So that doesn't make sense either. You can't even make that argument because they play our music in their sets, but they still won't engage us on social media for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but yeah.
And the important thing to remember is, again, we're not hitting these people up like, yo, collab, bruh. Or, hey, you'll be in town, like, just trying to be off on their shit. Like, no, we're talking about, like, listen, we hung at the shows, it was good times, and a simple follow-up, a simple, hey, what's good, like, I just have some
Mysterio, screw the follow-up, just a simple favorite on a tweet, maybe a retweet once a year, maybe a like on a picture, something like that.
Sure,
you don't even have to engage
throw
with
the
us
support.
like that.
We always throw the support. But like I said, I need to continue now with where this went. So, Nitty Gritty was talking more from a standpoint of fans. He was saying, I'm friendly to all these people at shows, but you can't think a DJ's your best friend because you hung out backstage with him or something.
I agree with
that.
him.
I agree with him as well. But even in that same token, with our own fans, now, I don't recognize a face the first time, sometimes not even the second or third time. But when I start seeing the same fans over and over again, interacting with me at shows, tweeting at me, my mind remembers as a human. I remember the face, and then eventually I even remember the name. And now I have a very good rapport with some of our big New York fan base, Louis G, Sean Vanity, Osiris, Carnage Jr. These are all people that I've met at shows. And I hang out with these guys at shows. So if they tweet me a question or they message me or something like that, you better believe that I answer them. You better believe it. And to be honest, even before I recollected the people's names or whatever, I still, I might miss a person here or there, but I still tried to interact with as many people as I possibly could. And I know some of you will say, okay, you're not at that level. Maybe you're not getting as many messages. The bigger you get, the harder it is. And you'd be surprised, not tooting our horns, but we've played around the world. We get a good share, a good amount of people sending us songs and music and people interacting with us all the time. And we try our asses off between the two of us to interact with as many of these people as we can, just on some human shit.
We even end up collaborating with some people.
Absolutely. We take it one step further, but we absolutely always, at the very least, answer these people, even if it's something you can't do for them. Sometimes they ask you for favors. Even if it's something you can't do, you at least respond. A response. And that's really all I was trying to say. And in Nitty Gritty's defense, when I explained to him what I meant, and hey, I'll read you my retort real quick.
I have to say, if Dylan Francis can respond to us, and he has 2.2 million Instagram followers, and he can respond to a DM from little old Fight Club, then we can afford to respond to our fans. And I think something to take from all this, guys, for those of you listening, and what I mean is for those of you, meaning producers, that are at our level or even higher, you guys should definitely take the time, not just to respond to your fans, but check in with your peers. You know, don't leave a tweet or a picture unignored. You know, just go for it. I mean, it would really just, it would make a difference, because when you see these guys again backstage at a festival or at a club, it goes a long way, and they'll remember that.
And if you don't want to do it for the right reasons, believe me, you'll one day, DJ Me Too movement is going to rise up, and there will be a time where it's going to happen, where somebody who on the come up with some kind of clout will tweet something about somebody, and it will raise awareness to how some of y'all out there are treating your peers. No, you're laughing.
Mysterio, you and your conspiracy theories sometimes. I think that would have happened already after the whole Datsik incident.
No, listen.
That was one guy, and then it just kind of fell to the wayside after that.
No, but I'm not talking about a whole different movement, SAV. I'm not talking about that specific.
Okay.
I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the DJ Me Too, the Me Too movement for DJs, in terms of a DJ saying, yo, this guy, hung out on the show, met with him, a peer, and, he just totally shunned me, or just totally ignores, or avoids, or maybe something more offensive. Just something that just exposes the non-human light that you're carrying.
I think it's going to take a lot more than that. Something a lot heavier, because people do that all the time on social media, and that doesn't really affect.
What grinds my gears, what strikes me about some of these people, they are the same people that are on their social media preaching to their fans about love and acceptance and about caring about all people and all this tripe that really doesn't coincide with this kind of behavior of avoidance.
Calvin Harris called someone a Nazi the other day on Twitter.
Really?
Calvin Harris is still making $1 million at Harris Las Vegas. I guarantee it.
Okay, there was a time when Weinstein and all these, predators, so to speak, were making millions of dollars. The roosters come to, what's the expression? The roosters come to crow.
Yeah, I think it's come to grow.
So the gig's up. Shit happens like that. Shit changes. And I'm saying, just be careful how you treat people, okay? Because right now, you may be getting away with it, but as the world just moves to a more and more sensitive place, hey, listen, it's not going to be a good look for you. It's not advantageous. And I'm not saying you need to go and reach out to every Joe Blow schmo. You don't have, that's not your responsibility. At the end of the day, you're a performer, you're a DJ, you're an entertainer. I get it. Just talking about, just be a human. Treat others as you would treat them, okay?
I agree, Mysterio. But you know what? You know what else is funny? Sorry to cut you off, but I don't want to have a brain fart later.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why do these DJs producers follow you in the first place? Because that astonishes me even more so. Why are they following us, but they never interact with us? It's like, what are you guys trying to achieve by doing that? I don't get it.
Think about it. What did we just talk about? About the bigger people watching the underground. You're good enough to watch and steal from, but you ain't good enough for us to interact with you. We don't want to put you on, which comes to a whole nother layer of fear. That we put you on, you end up becoming bigger than us. So sure, we're gonna follow you. We're gonna watch closely what you're doing. We're gonna steal what you're doing to rebrand it and make it make sense for ourselves.
I want to see someone attempt to do what we do. We're the most ridiculous DJs and producers in the scene. That I can outwardly state that as a fact. No one can do what we do. So if they're trying to watch us and surveil us for those purposes,
good luck, buddy.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck. There's not much you're gonna steal from us. It's not conducive to a lot of people's brands. Unless you're gonna go and enlist the services of a crazy hype man and make some crazy EDM bangers that no one else is making. Because people don't even know what we have in store, Mysterio. We're making some next level shit. These guys are not ready. You're not ready.
We're ready. But so I will go back to this quick. In Nitty Gritty's response, in his defense, he did respond to my second tweet where I told him, of course, I'm not talking year one noob mistakes. Thinking a DJ's your best friend because you shared a drink backstage. I'm talking 7 years, playing multiple shows, festivals, etc. together, bonding, then messaging, not messaging, let's collab, simply messaging on some human shit to no response. We are all human and we can't forget it. To which Nitty Gritty did respond, of course, that's a totally different story. Like something to that effect of, I totally understand that, that's something different. So he wasn't disagreeing with me. Again, it was just a tweet, and Twitter having a certain amount of characters, whatnot, things can be misconstrued, and he kind of took a different approach to the tweet, which it wasn't far off, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened there.
I think it's also important to note that there's a lot of times where producers, like I said earlier, follow each other, but they have no vested interest in the producer they're following, which, okay, may not necessarily mean that they're trying to take ideas that you're using in your brand, but maybe they're just fans of the music, but not exactly your political or personal views, right, Mysterio? Because that's something that we should know.
Okay.
There are things that we, not just us, but that other DJs producers might say that you might not necessarily agree with. So, okay, you may not be a fan of their brand per se, or them as a person, but you like their music, so therefore you follow them for their music.
Sure, but then you toss a like or a retweet for the music. You know, it's called support. It's called supporting the things you like. Otherwise, like you said, a red flag goes up. It's shady. Why are you following me if you don't like anything or respond or interact? I gotta think it's for another reason. Otherwise, believe me, they would have long dipped.
You're right. I do respect guys like Keizo. Also, I want to mention Keizo because Keizo's been following us for a very long time, before Keizo blew up. And I reached out to Keizo recently when he played in New York City, and I wasn't really expecting him to respond. He responded right away. And I asked him, hey, what are you doing before the show? Just curious. I want to come through to the show, not sure where to get tickets. And he just responded right away and said, nah, man, let me know. I'll list you. Which is really interesting, you know, because we're not really friends. We don't really hang out. We've never hung out before. We just know each other through social media. And I guess he was a fan of us when he was still developing as an artist. And I guess he just remembers that. And he's like, oh, I know the Fight Club guys. Yeah, I used to love their music. I'm on a different level now, but I can still respond to them.
It's a very interesting point, and I was about to get into that myself. I think that the guys that do reach out and do interact, they remember where they came from. Because I remember Dylan Francis, for instance, when he was coming up, he was not shy to try to use as many utilities as he could. You know, he would, on tour, ask the bigger Skrillex, or you're gonna play my track tonight, or, things like that. Or he would, if one of them was playing Holy Shit, for instance, he would go up there and, not on some grimy shit, but he used his resources. People that were bigger than him, he wasn't scared to use his resources.
Yeah.
And I think that he pays it forward in a sense where, Fight Club hits him up. He retweeted our Savage EP. He's done things like that he didn't have to do, because I think he remembers when he was nobody and other guys did this for him. Problem is that a lot of people forget.
Yeah,
See all the
can't
money.
forget.
They see all the clout.
You can't forget where you come from.
They see the fame, and they do just that. They forget where they came from. And you can't. As if he's right.
So this is just a lesson for anyone listening. If you're a producer and you're doing extremely well with your career, don't forget about the guys you came up with. Don't forget about the guys that you see at a festival. May not necessarily know on a personal level, but you appreciate their brand or them as people, or you appreciate their music. Don't forget. Show some love. Show some support here and there,
And look,
we know you're looking at the social media. We know you're looking at the tweets, at the Instagram posts.
we know you saw it.
And we're not just saying we as FICO. We mean other producers, because other producers talk about these things behind closed doors. People talk about these things, but we're not scared to address them
It's the
on a
difference.
podcast.
We don't do it on closed doors. We go on the mics.
You know how many
Film it.
producers talk to us about this stuff all the time? You'd be surprised. They go, "Oh, I don't understand why blank doesn't respond, man. I remember when he was coming up or she was coming up. They, we would hang out all the time. We would go get pizza after shows, and now they can't even retweet or they can't even answer a text message." Yeah, well, this right here, this podcast is dedicated to those people. If you're even listening or even take the time to listen to our podcast, please take note. Just be human.
And look, I know some of you may think it may sound like Fight Club's on here whining and bitching. It's the last thing. That's the last way we want to be perceived. That's not what this is about. We're not butthurt. We're not bitter. We're talking on some human shit. And if you're one of those people that's sitting now and you're going to type to us and defend these bigger guys, listen, those bigger guys you're defending wouldn't piss on you or your mother if you were burning on the fucking floor, okay? The people I'm talking about, if you want to take time to defend, you're coming to the wrong ones. And I'm not about telling people, censoring people, hey, listen, at the end of the day, if you want to come out here and talk shit on our podcast, hey, do it. I'm not really going to stop you. But I will tell you that it's counterproductive because you're talking shit to the people that actually do care about you and are here to listen to you and would more than just pee on you and your mom if you were burning on the street. I would
it piss
water
on fire to put you out? Am I too nice to buy you ice?
I would take my own water in a desert if it was the last water I had to put out that fire on your mother's burning carcass. We care too much, okay?
We care too much.
We care too much.
We should make a shirt that says that. We care too much.
Because I'm not going to lie, it does grind my gears sometimes when people come out and they come in, they defend these bigger guys. Oh, Mysterio, shut up. They're busy. They don't have time for you. And listen, don't defend these people. Do not defend it.
No excuses.
There's no excuses. We gave you examples of guys that are the busiest people in the game that can find time. You have no excuse. There's never an excuse to stop being human. Mysterio out. Mic drop.
We got to wrap things up. We're gonna leave you guys with the song that's coming out on an upcoming EP called Future Dembo, which only features Mexican producers, all Mexican producers, and we're doing it to promote our EDC play. We're making our debut at EDC in Mexico. So we thought it would be appropriate.
It's not our debut. We played at EDC SAV in 2012.
Yeah, well, we played at Sasambuya. That was a different project. Anyways,
Same.
We're putting together a compilation with only Mexican producers, and we're playing one of the tracks off that compilation, and it's featuring none other than one of our favorite producers from Mexico at the moment, Fito Silva. Check it out, and make sure to also check out our socials because we're releasing our Taki Taki remix with said producer, Fito Silva, this Friday. Make sure to check that out. It's going to be a free download. We love you guys. We're going to be at Avalon on February 22nd in Los Angeles, playing with Sesco. Make sure to come out for that. And Alien Boy, who we shouted out earlier. And then on the 23rd, the next day, we're playing in EDC Mexico, playing with the likes of guys that, I don't know if you guys have heard of these guys, but DJ Snake, Skrillex, Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike.
Yeah. Doing a back-to-back with Bros, of course.
And we're doing a back-to-back with the homie Bros, an excellent producer from Mexico. So shout outs to him. We're very excited. We're getting everything organized. But we ran out of time. Make sure to check our socials, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, Facebook. Check it out in the description. We love you guys. Shout outs.
My face itches.
To all of you. Peace.
shit.